Hi all.
What?
So we are the Global Community Bio Fellows this year, and we are hosting this event for all people from the Asia Pacific panel. And it's mostly to touch upon various key issues faced by the regional areas of Asia and Pacific. So we'll be touching upon various topics such as like accessibility of materials and resources, biodiversity conservation, mental health care, science education, bioliteracy and science politics, and culture and women's science education. So to start with, I think we can have Salman to go ahead.
Right.
Salman? Yep.
Yes, thank you so much. Welcome everyone. This Asian regional meeting. So actually, it's a very fun when you attend physically. So if for first 10 minutes, we're gonna like wait for the participants attendant, and also we're going to talk about today's event, why we're doing it or not, okay? And from 5:10 or 7:10 ET, 7:10 a.m. ET, that we're gonna start our presentation. That will be like 5-6 topics, and you can like add topics as well. So so we have here Abhay, Aravind, Sreshta, Sonali, Bushra, and Doreen, and myself. So thank you so much for your time and have the time to attend this regional meeting. So now, since you have been here for a while, so you know how to put your name, the code of conduct and everything, right? So I can see many of the people, they actually are practicing it. So that's a very good sign. I'm not gonna, but actually we can like start sharing the screen. So let me know if you can see that.
Yep. It's visible.
Okay, great. So can you all see that? Okay, can I have a thumbs up, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah, so this is the meeting. Actually, when we it's basically this never we have that formal all the time. We usually I call this meeting and we sit the room between Golgi and nucleus. I guess I can't remember the the name of the central region. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, what is the name of that? I think that I mean lobby or something. Susan, we can, or I don't know if you can help us with that. So here we actually gather around that. We grab some chairs. We grab, or even we can sit on the ground and we talk about this. So that's like really interactive, and people can join these Asian people. And we start the meeting like that. So can we have some tech expectations? You should be able to unmute yourself, but when you are talking or you have any question or raising any point, you can actually unmute yourself and talk. But for now, please keep yourself muted so that you can hear someone is talking. Thank you so much. That we would really appreciate that if you unmute yourself.
You can even raise your hand on the Zoom so we know that you're going to talk next. Yep.
So thank you, Abhay. So we know about the video, I mean video rules and everything. If you don't want to record yourself, you can turn it off. But let's hope we all can see each other, and also use the chat all the time. Just be interactive. Talk to us, talk to your buddies, whoever are here. Just talk to them, and you can raise questions. Great. So Arnav has started advertising. So here, actually, this is our Zoom tech lead, Susan. We should clap for her because in this moment, it's 7 a.m. ET, and she has been waiting for us for a while and supporting us. Thank you so much, Susan. So we have Abhay, Aravind, Sreshta, Bushra is not here though, but she was part of the fellows and organizing team, and as well as Doreen, Sonali. So thank you so much for your all insight, and that was an amazing journey. So yeah, here we should like thank to our sponsors, Millipore Sigma, the John W. Henry Family Foundation, Opentron.
Salman, Salman, I
Yes.
have a small suggestion. Do you want to present the slides and then go to the actual slide of sponsors on the
Uh,
Google slide? Yeah,
Yeah, it's still
yes.
stuck at the first slide.
correct. You've not clicked on present, I think.
Yeah, actually, it's right. So I'm in the first slide, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So can you hear the second slide? Expectation.
No, I can't see that.
Anyone can see that?
No.
I think did you click on present on the Google slides? I think you.
Yeah. If you are
Oh,
seeing the first slide, that means if you are all of you are seeing the first slide, that means like the slide is showing, but
So maybe
it's not.
if you can stop share screening and then share again,
Yeah,
probably there's some glitch.
that might work better.
Right. So I'm gonna like share the screen again. So can you all see that right now?
Yeah, now it's really okay.
Okay,
better.
cool.
Yeah,
You can make it full screen as well.
Okay, so this second slide?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Right.
And the third slide, right?
Yep.
So we talked about it. And this, our sponsors. Actually, I thought like, I was like looking into that. So Millipore Sigma, the John W. Henry Family Foundation, Opentron, and of course Media Lab, and Community Biotechnology Initiative. So now, today's topic, it will be this Asian regional meeting. It's kind of like mixed up of all kind of topics, all kind of concerns, all sort of collaboration, collaboration and everything. So yeah, right. Actually, you know what? Who just knocked in? Adeline. She was the initiator of this Asian regional meeting. So Arnav, can you like bring her in here? That would be like really helpful. Or anyone from our
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you, Arnav. So yeah, like Arnav, Adeline, and Abhay, Busha, Sonali, we all were in the previous meeting. So and a couple of you were there in the last or three Basamits or like the last one. So today, actually, we're going to talk about the accessibility of materials and resources, biodiversity conservation, mental health, science education, bioliteracy, and science policies, and culture and women's science education. So we have 2 minutes to jump into our presentation. So in these 2 minutes, actually, when we all talk about it, actually many people who are involved in a different part of this Asian region who are involved in bioscience, biocommunity development, or any sort of science, integrated science development. So we come up with our own agendas or our own concern or issues and talk about it, and we see how we can collaborate with each other, and how can we utilize this network from that connections. And sometimes we can arrange many events. We can connect each other for any sort of a complement in any event or any activities or any initiatives. So you'll know when you are connected to this community, actually will come up with new ideas how to utilize this network. So yeah, and actually we're going to talk about each of these issues right now. So I'm going to start with accessibility of materials and resources. So yeah, right. So this is, if you're seeing that, you can see, okay. Actually, there was a slide here. Can anyone, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Great. So this is the slide. Here, actually, you can see my name. I'm Salman Promon. I'm from Dhaka, Bangladesh. So I'm a founder of Mechamino Star Laboratory. So I'm kind of revolving around education, science, applied research, community education, STEAM and integrated science, and also maker spaces and these sort of ideas. And here you can see one of the initiative. So that's like we're trying to teach our underprivileged community. That's basically slum space and a school. We're trying to teach them. I'm using the word trying because this is an evolutionary process, and it may take time. Take time to figure out what could be the efficient and most possible way to engage them. So here you can see they're working on 3D printed robotics, like architecture, design, biology. They're also working on open science and open, kits and DIY biotech kits. So microscopy tools and everything. So the list is go on, but you just keep this picture in your mind because we're going to connect this topic with our next topic, right? So here, this is the Star Labs. That's a open space for educator, independent researchers, and come here. They can like take classes. They can use the biology lab. They can use the electronics lab. They can actually attend our workshops. They can have like international conferences and seminars and all the teaching assisted system. So now, yeah, you can see that. So here, a couple of students, I think some of you are here, where we have been working on molecular biology, prosthetics, microbiology, and other practices. And also science talks. So now, from this slide, we have we made this transition to here. And the reason I'm talking about this topic, maybe I have 3 minutes, but I'm sure like we don't need to take more than that. From that particular area in slum kids, they are trying their best and they're like learning things so fast. I can assure you that without any prior knowledge or previous exposure, they are learning very fast, right? But as you can see, here we actually have a couple of like equipment, but when we were teaching them, here actually we didn't have anything at all. We are using these lunch boxes, we are using glasses and like just the petri dish and loops. Those are actually we bought that from the market, but otherwise, all of the things you can see, those are like cardboards and 3D printed stuffs and everything. So it's materials. When we see many of our labs, like other than the third world countries, we can take a look at the labs and we can actually see their equipment they have. I'm not saying that it's a very common scenario all over the world, because it's not like everyone is like having access to this equipment. But countries like us, especially the third world country or the advancing communities, and some of the South Asian countries. So we really face trouble to access the materials. Even let alone, I mean, like this is community work, right? So it's obvious that we're gonna have some trouble to get the license, get access to the reagents or the equipment. But here we have a couple of equipment, but and people are, so students, they are participating in this setup, but our accessibility is still, we have a lot of work to do on that. So maybe when we like order things from outside, it's like expensive. Sometimes the regulation, biotech regulation, and sometimes the shipment time, shipment process, that all actually works on that. And we really get a very hard time. So these sort of issues are coming out. So I'm not going to give the solutions here. I'm just going to raise the question that we are having issues with this accessibility of materials and resources in this area. Maybe you can fill in if anyone wants to create any community or network, please, you will get the link in the chat box. Feel free to, sign up for, please get into the network, sign up for that. and let's take this conversation in the next step later, so that we can have some light on that. So thank you so much. Right now, Arvind, can you take the floor?
Yeah. Hi. Thanks, Salman. Can you hear me all?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So thanks everyone for being here. So myself, I'm representing Sri Lanka from the region, and I'm a co-founder of an organization called Dream Space Academy, where we are empowering underprivileged youth from the war-affected regions to solve their complex local challenges, using multidisciplinary science. And please go to the next page. Yeah. So what exactly are we like? Dream Space Academy is not a typical makerspace where people would just go and most of the time make some hobby work. This is actually is a community innovation center to solve local socioeconomic and environmental challenges using challenge-based learning. So we have this empowerment program, which is actually like an 18 months empowerment program, which starts by identifying the local challenges, and we take them through these 4 stages, as you see: maker education, community innovation, international collaboration, and finally spinning off a startup from them. So usually they are 16 plus, under 20, and they don't have access to universities or anything like that. So we give any different types of training. It's not subject based, so basically it's training, anything from business modeling to biotechnology. And once we train them, we identify a local challenge that they want to solve. And in the 3rd stage, then the 3rd stage, we send them to some international institution where they get further trained in the domain knowledge, and finally spin off a startup, social startup from that challenge. So this way we can actually create the industry. For example, if you teach biotechnology in Sri Lanka, we don't have the biotechnology industry that people, these candidates can go and apply. So we basically create those micro industries, and these are the seeds. It takes 18 months to create each candidate, and every candidate is different. And from there, they can actually build that industry and ecosystem. And what you see here is our hometown in the east coast of Sri Lanka, and the ocean and the backwater, and then we have been surrounded by water. So water, the ocean economy, the blue economy is a very serious topic for us. Please go to the next slide. Yeah. So initially, our whole story was around this elephant, because in Sri Lanka last year, if you look at 85 people died, and 85 plus, it's more than 85 people died by a human-elephant conflict, but more than 390 elephants is what you have is the 2018 shot, but like 2019 was the biggest number since the colonial time. So the wild elephant conflict has been a huge problem, and the solutions that have been given to them are not really taking coexistence into consideration. So when example, like we asked one of these school that we adopted with 104 kids in the borderline village, and they still have elephant part of the ideal world when we ask them to draw an image. So all the international and all the unsustainable solutions that were given to them is not actually start trying to build a coexistence. So this is how we draft when Dream Space Academy was born, and the previous organization of Dream Space Academy in 2013, we revolved around our green economy and green ecosystem. And then please go to the next stage. And then when we started building this, as you see in the second slide, is that one of the candidate who has been, please go to the next year, who has been building a underwater glider to autonomously profile the ocean and the backwaters. We started realizing that the biggest problem is in the ocean and the water for us, because Sri Lanka has 6.7 times, almost 7 times exclusive economic zone, which you mean exclusive economic zone is around the surrounding the ocean region, which is 7 times more than the land mass. That means our blue ecosystem should be 7 times more important for us. And that's how we started building, in several projects and collaborating. And Oceans Well is where, from Asha Divos is one of the very famous project. She has been protecting the blue whales of the Northern Indian Ocean, so the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Oceans, because the largest living animal in the planet is whale, and the biggest and the largest whale is living in this water in the world. So we have to be really protect, because these whales are the, in protecting the whole ocean ecosystem, because they deep dive into that, bring all the nutrition from the seabed to the ocean bed to the up, and that's how they can actually also protect the ocean ecosystem and fix, carbon, 50% more carbon in the ocean. So this is one of our candidates who has been like, as chosen as an ocean hero, and then we have been working with several organizations. So here today, we just wanted to talk exactly like how and what are the best practices are being, followed by other nearby countries in this region, and then how do you solve your biodiversity conversation and protection and conversation. And I'm happy to discuss that further. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Arvind, there was a quick question about your project around digital naturalism. If you could quickly explain that.
Yeah, so so for us, like, DreamSpace started as a small group of people, as a community. Now it's building into an ecosystem. So ecosystem is something that balance each other. So we don't want to be just a community. We want to be there, completely covering the each and every aspect of that. For that, we have started building really like if you know, in India, there's this Auroville is a self-sustaining utopian type of village, or like that. We have been building also an eco village, eco innovation village, where we'll be like different stakeholders around the world and locally will be like located, co-living and co-creation in one place. So it's a big land at the ocean, where probably from next year 2021 we will be able to organize digital naturalism conference in Sri Lanka, where everyone around the world can come and contribute and co-create, and then build that ecosystem. And that's one of our projects. If you're interested, we can talk about it.
Excellent. Abhay, can you step in?
Yep, sure. So can you go to the next slide? Yep. Thanks, Arvind, for setting up a space to talk about biodiversity conservation. I think there's so much to talk about, right? All these key issues that Asia and Pacific region faces. And here we are, like, briefly touching on various topics. Can you go to the previous slide, Salman?
Sure.
Yeah. Continuing Arvind's conversation here, I wanted to present what I presented in the previous Bio Summit as well. Adeline was our moderator, and I presented the slide because I think this touches upon various factors that are very much missing in the Asian context. One is to actually encourage the local efforts as exemplary actions for the local conservation, right? It's about bringing about and telling the stories of people who are doing amazing work in conservation. For example, in my own hometown, like Mysuru and the nearby region of Karnataka state, we have people like Salumarudha Timmaka who planted like thousands of trees together. And people like Snake Sham, who is in my own hometown, he has conserved like more than 40,000 snakes. Like and along with his son now, he's conserving a lot of snakes there. And there's so many smaller stories that we miss in our own localities. I think it's important to highlight them, especially in the world where there's so much of information and so much is more of noise than the actual useful information. So yeah, and as global audience, we become like, once we start conserving our local and knowing about our local ecosystems, as global audience as we are, we definitely conserve the global ecosystems as well. So, and the social media outreach as well. So to check the facts, to make the media less noisy, and to step up and voice out whenever you find something very intriguing. And I think there's a need to go back to our roots, so which is our local stories of conservation. So coming back, like getting up to my introduction, Salman, next slide. Oops, one second. Salman? Yeah. So yes. I'm Abhay here. So a brief introduction would be, I'm the co-founder of Sistara, which is the makerspace which we recently started off in Bitspilani, which is a university in India. And I'm a life sciences master's student at pre-Paris currently. And I'm an aspiring neuroscientist. So I'll be talking about the neuroscience and mental health care aspect that the Asia and Pacific region is currently facing. So to start with, Salman, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So in neuroscience and mental health, I feel education is the awareness and the education is is a very important character where like we come from various backgrounds, but somehow in the Asian region, for example, in India, right, our parents think of engineering and being a doctor. Those are the main two options that we mostly come up with because we as a developing country are more concerned with the livelihood, right? The basic level of income and all that. So I think the awareness about life sciences and interdisciplinary life sciences like neurosciences is especially missing there. So I really want to ask you all to explore yourself. Like we have internet, and internet, as I said, it's both like very essential and noisy. So it's important to connect to the right people to know about the these life sciences and about the diagnosis and treatment. Coming to mental health care, what I feel is if you take two generations behind us, right? For example, our grandparents' generation, whenever somebody is supposed to be mentally ill, they were secluded out of the society because they were not diagnosed what exactly that mental disorder was, or like they got a label called he's mental or she's mental and totally secluded from the society, right? So I think it's important to first diagnose and learn about mental health care and various types and variety of psychological disorders that's out there. And once that is done, I think then we can talk about treatment. For example, currently we have a lot of medication, like both natural medicine and the English medicine or the allopathy that we call, and various other alternative sources of medicine for mental health care. And more is the awareness about such psychological disorders. I think more is how we can tackle it well. So coming to lifestyle, I think, yeah, we are what we repeatedly do. I think that struck me a lot. First comes behavior, right? And then comes our thoughts and emotions. I recently heard a neuroscientist from Stanford. His name is Andrew Huberman. You can follow him on Instagram. He's amazing in doing neuroscience outreach on social media. So he said behavior comes first. We are what we repeatedly do. What we think or what we feel is next. I know it's important. I know the emotions are important, but it's always next when it comes to action. So you need to start changing by acting upon it. And then maybe like the thoughts and emotions come. So talking about lifestyle, Salman, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, in the Indian traditional life sciences, right? It's Ayurveda. It's been from ages now, and I like to stress upon how like the collaboration and cooperation between modern life sciences and ancient life sciences like Ayurveda and yoga is super essential at this current moment today. So even in Ayurveda, when we talk about like the modern psychology knows that we have 16 personality types and like various ways people's minds are structured, right? And I'm super surprised about Charaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita, which are the base books of Ayurveda. So they've already mentioned 16 personality types, and they've categorized into three main categories. Sattva is a more balanced personality type, and it has 7 subcategories in it. And Rajasika is the more active and very active personality type. And Tamasika is a lethargic in general category where you have 3 more sub-personality types. What I'm trying to stress upon here is to, again, go back to our roots. There's so much that we have missed. Maybe, I don't know, there are multiple causes, innovations or whatever. But the point is to get back to the roots and also to be in touch with the modern scientific way. Because there's so much of knowledge in the ancient systems and there is so much of method in the modern system. I think the combination of both is where we really need to head. Yep. That's my take on neuroscience and mental health, and I'd love to have more questions, right, from you all, and to encourage more discussion on this. Great. Next.
Thank you so much, Abhay.
Yep.
So yeah,
Next
Sonali.
we have, yep, Sonali. Go ahead. Thanks, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Sonali is here. I'm from Mumbai, India. So I am a developmental neurobiologist, STEAM educator, and I call myself as a change maker because the place where I come from, the opportunities which I created for myself and others. So yeah, just conclude that. So what I do, so here you can see my aim is to people to realize that fierce and fragile life within and surrounding them. So I'll be discussing more on bioliteracy and why bioliteracy. So before that, I want to share a small story. So why I started with bioliteracy? If you see, I'm from I come from urban slums called Dharavi. It's Asia's largest slums. The place is very compact, and you see through you even sunlight cannot reach there, and no plants, no trees. When I started learning biology, I realized I started noticing the life around me. Before that, the life for me was just human beings and domestic animals. And when I saw microbes or small creatures, I got so wondered, and I immediately got connected to myself, started asking the questions of existence, and from then on, I thought this is so important. Like people here, they just come, like they earn enough to survive. The basic aim of their life is to survive. So I thought, at least before dying, I should convey them. At least I should show the beauty of the life surrounding them. So yeah, could you please go to next slide? So how I started this journey? Could you go to next slide? So as you know, I belong to very like resource constrained area, and getting microscopes is very uh, difficult. So before that, I want to show you. Salman, are you able to play that video?
I have, yeah.
Can you play the video?
Actually, you need to accept my request for that. I think.
Shall I start sharing?
Yeah, you
Because I
can
haven't.
actually. You can actually give the link. You know.
Shall I start sharing? If you could stop sharing.
Sure, sure.
The
Yeah,
same.
sure. Please.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this confusion.
No problem at all.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I just want to see this video first, and then I'll start. Is it in presentation mode? Yeah, so this was when I went for a trek. I didn't have anything. I just took one drop. I had exactly these things. I just picked uh, one drop of pond scum, and then I was so amazed. I thought, like, for me to introduce people of my community to nature or to this amazing world, it was very difficult. I thought, like, it's impossible. But when I saw this, I thought, if I cannot bring macro jungles, why not to bring this micro jungles, which are just in the heart of the city, like wherever sunlight reaches, there you can find these things. And so in 2015, I started my journey with Foldscope. As you know, Foldscope is a maybe if you don't know, it's a $1 paper microscope, which I'm sorry, I'm yeah, it's a $1 paper microscope, which like you can do with. It has 140x magnification, and it doesn't need anything, as you can see here, just a Foldscope and paper slides, scissor and tape, and your sample. So this slide I made with sticky tape, pair of scissors, and this paper slide. uh, Salman, I'm not able to like go into presentation mode.
Okay, you can see
Is
it
it fine if
present.
I?
Yeah, just right top corner. You know, just beside. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Sure, no
Yeah.
problem.
So yeah, now then onwards, I started doing this with. I was part of one organization called Slum and Rural Innovation Dharavi Dairy. From there, I started my journey, and this had really great impact in terms of first, like, people. I could see immediate reaction on the faces of people when they got to realize that there is something more, like more exists. And it also helped in solving other problems such as health and hygiene, because uh, in our community, they are not aware of such things. When the unseen is not, uh, if it is unseen, then they don't realize it. They just, and they even don't believe it. So this was really great tool, and we could see the behavioral change once we started taking these sessions. And another point I want to highlight here is that uh, today is the International Girl Child Day. And if you know, in Asia Pacific, the girls, they have a lot of issues. I can relate it because as a girl, I had a lot of challenges, and in terms of health also. So I think when you know what happens to your system, then only you feel more confident, and then only you can start like you can start achieving your dreams, or it helps you in fighting the community. So for me, I think bioliteracy is very important in, like, here also. uh, yeah, you can. uh, I I really want to end with this quote, like, uh, just here, like, educate women and their community will prosper, and deny education and the world will suffer. Because and I feel just, oh, it's not only about education. You should bioliterate them, because when you know yourself better, then only you'll be able to understand the world better and then make changes. uh, thank you.
Wow.
If you have any questions, we can discuss more on this.
After actually, I'm going to cut you in. We will have that question answer sessions just right after that. So yeah, Shrestha, can you go ahead? Like, you can actually share your screen if you can. Is that all right, Shrestha?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Sure, of course.
Do that.
So meanwhile, we talk about a little bit more. So here, just right after Shrestha, actually we're gonna hear from Adeline, Arnav, and also George. George Trammell, are you here? Can you just give a hi? Okay.
Can you guys?
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Okay, great, awesome. Let me present. Yeah, Sonali ended here, and I wanted to take a minute to sort of bridge few of the points that have been discussed already. And I believe a few other things that we need to do in our communities includes, um, just wait. Yeah. So, so when we are talking about bioliteracy, I was also wondering, what does bioliteracy mean when we're talking in terms of an ecosystem? And that's what brings to my point. So if you guys can think of what is exactly common between the deforestation going in Sri Lanka, coral reef conservation in Maldives, and human environment conflict in Bhutan, except for the fact that these are ecosystem level assault. Um, what is another anthropogenic factor that sort of connects them all? And how can we tackle this? So interestingly, these are the 3 points which have a common thread, which has not been addressed until recently, and that is science policy. Many of the Asian and Pacific countries haven't had a chance to contribute to science policy, given many challenges. And that is one step that Asia Pacific countries have been taking recently. At least I can think of 2 examples right from this year. Probably these initiatives were encouraged because of the COVID situation. Yeah, that's a speculation that I have, but I'm not sure. And one of them was the STIP 2020 initiative, Science, Technology, and Innovation Policy. 2020, this was the initiative in my country, India. And the other initiative that I briefly heard about was the Research Innovation Enterprise 2020 plan. This was from Singapore. And although these initiatives have talked about the much needed science policy in our countries, which has been not tackled earlier, there is a systematic problem with these initiatives. And that was the fact that although, if you can see in this particular, in the second image, although STIP 2020 had taken into consideration extended public and expert consultation, when I attended STIP 2020's sessions, at least in some of the sessions, there was hardly any representation from people from maker spaces or people doing community science, community bio, and it was heavily academic. The discussions were heavily academic, which didn't feel entirely right, at least to me. And I felt that there's an issue of representation at the community level, as well as an individual level, in the sense whatever topics were being discussed in STIP are so academia specific that that the members, the chair, co-chair, convener, all the people assigned to these committees are people from definite institutes, and that's a good thing. But it should also be balanced by people who are doing community work like Sonali, like Arvind, and I just could not see that representation from India, in India. And yeah, and I also feel science policies should be, talking about community-driven governance and how communities own up to their spaces, their resources, and that is something that should be discussed but was missing. And I would love to know what you guys feel should be included in our country's policies and discussion. And yeah, people from Singapore can chip in RI 2020 plan because I really didn't know much about it, and I would love to know more about it.
Thank you so much, Shrestha. If you are sharing the slide, can you go to the next slide? Since you are sharing.
I just pressed on the wrong button.
Sure.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Just right. Cool. No problem. I can start sharing screen.
Yeah.
Can you?
Go ahead, Salman.
Yeah. Shrestha, can you stop sharing your screen?
I'll just stop because my computer.
Yeah, you can see that.
Okay, wait.
No problem. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah, basically the next slide is open discussion, right? To let all the audience share the views, as in maybe come up one by one with questions or suggestions so that we can brainstorm for a better, for a better community science and open science.
Yep. So one thing I must say, this one. So we have a couple of topics here, but I'm sure all the other participants who are here, they can like come up with, and they have some other issues, concerns in their mind. This is the time you can actually talk about it, and you have that document where you are signing up, right? So just right after that, when the attendance sheet, right, just right below that, you'll find a space where you can actually input your ideas. And also, if you want to talk about it, you can raise a hand or you can unmute yourself and talk about it, right? So here, the questions we're taking that, what will it take to sustain these connections, and what will take to keep the momentum going, right? For this, actually, we have to stay connected. And this link you can use. We're gonna put that link in the chat box. I'm sure like Ara went already given that. So sign up here, and also that attendance is both. So one thing I must want to say, that is, this link is a different one. This is a Google form link. You have to sign up with like a couple of your information so that you can like stay connected. And the attendance sheet, which is in the link as well in the chat box. So you have to do the both things, right? So now, actually, we have this floor for open discussion. And after this, we're gonna listen from Adeline and George. Or yeah, right now, if anyone have any question about all of the, but before that, can we have a round of applause for all of our speakers here? Shrestha, Abhay, and Aravind and Sonali? For everyone, right? So cool. Yeah, the floor is open for all of you, and if any of our speakers wants to say something, so you can go ahead as well. Yes,
I
Mayank?
think, yeah, we're open to questions. Mayank just raised his hand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mayank. Unmute
Hi.
yourself and say hi.
So my question, Abhay, to you was, you're talking about Ayurveda and how ancient knowledge can be used to
Right.
use and complement with the Western science, right?
Right.
So
right.
a lot of this is because we do not have a common language, as I pointed out in the chat also. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
how
Right.
do we overcome that, like really? Because a lot of science even today happens in English, right?
Right.
We cannot
Yeah.
expect indigenous
Fair enough.
people to.
So, correct. And most of the Indian languages, right, have their roots in Sanskrit. For example, you speak Hindi, right? And Hindi, like Shuddh Hindi, is literally so much as Sanskrit. See, I think the
Right.
key thing missing here is the interest and awareness about Ayurveda and the knowledge about it, right? For example, I brought up a point saying 16 personality types is already there in Ayurveda. So maybe those smaller things that can incite people can let them go back and research on themselves and what all exists, right? And get interested. I think awareness is missing in terms of.
How do we? So the question is like, how do we do this awareness drive? Like, in what languages do we do
right.
this? Because
For example, like we as maker spaces can definitely take up maybe a workshop on like call in people who are doctors in Ayurveda, right? Or like people who are very knowledgeable in Sanskrit, and yeah, why not? So we can let them give an open discussion to all the students of the university, or even like if it's an open public maker space, we can invite people who are as interested, right? I think it's all about outreach there. What do you think?
right, I guess so. But one other problem that I think would exist is since there are very few people who understand that particular language, there's no one really to proof check what they are saying, right? And this is what happens when with all the pundits that we have in India. Like they come and they recite shlokas, and we cannot really understand that. So we have to take.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. There, I think we really need to connect with the right people. That point is missing. Yeah. So.
I think. Can I just jump in? I think it would be great.
Jump in.
I think it would be great, and I think this came out at one of the previous bio summits. Maybe like there is a lot of material out there. So why aren't they being translated to? They can be translated to any language, right? If you want, if you found, like you said, you have to find the right person. So that's a whole project on its own, right? Can you find the right people to help to translate it into the different dialects for different communities. I think that's really important.
Yep, that's an amazing point. Thanks, Adeline.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I think that's a great point. A lot of these materials are all in English. So can you convert that and just put, even like if you take videos and you put like subtitles underneath them, then you've got like you're reaching out to another, like way more people. So
right, yeah.
I actually have an interesting example since we are talking about indigenous knowledge. I'm sure most of you know about this. Around a decade or two ago, there was a study from one of the American scientists, American group, which talked about the good health effects of adding turmeric in one's milk. And they actually filed for a patent regarding that study they had. And surprisingly, or probably not a surprise for people in India, that knowledge was something that has been going on, passed on in our community since centuries, and that is where a lot of gap is there, because of we are not translating indigenous knowledge into.
Thanks, Faiza. So I think again, like the fight, like it should not be a fight between modern science and ancient knowledge systems or life sciences, right? I think it should be more of a cooperation. Yeah, I feel modern science is going more quantitative, right? For example, I was talking to my dad, who is a professor in Ayurveda. He was telling me how Sushruta and Charaka, when they wrote the book, right, they did not note down the data, because if they started noting down the data, they would not have covered such a broad spectrum of diseases and to the depth of symptoms of all of those, right? I think, the quantitative data is missing, and we as researchers and modern science could like combine those two and bring in the quantitative character out of it, right, to convince the modern scientists. But again, modern science also needs to focus on qualitative aspects, because there's so much more. Like happiness is qualitative, it's not quantitative at all. So
So thank you so much, Abhay and Sreshta and everyone, like putting your thoughts here. So Adeline, if you have some time to jump in and take the conversation, because you have been arranging this meeting for a while, for last 2 years.
No, I mean, I would just love to hear from the people who didn't present, like all the people who didn't present. Maybe I'd love to hear like one line on what you are taking away from Bio Summit, or what you want to do next. Why did you join? I mean, I know you guys all wrote this already, but now that you've had a few days of talks and everything, all of you who haven't said anything, maybe each of you take a turn and share something.
Yeah, so actually we can start what just Adeline mentioned. Wow, Heidi's here as well. So you can actually raise hand, or we can like go one by one. If we can like have 30 seconds or 1 minute, like say your name. We already can see your name, so you can just say your affiliation or any concern you have. For example, we presented like 5, so maybe you have something else in your mind, right?
Right,
so,
and why Bio Summit, right? Yeah, that's a key point. We're all interested.
How can you utilize this network, this Asian, bio community network?
Maybe Salman, to make it more organized, why don't you just call on people?
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay, I can start calling from Marcella. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes, that's my name. I work at NYU Shanghai. I'm a professor here. I created a lab that is called Remaker Space. And what I do is to teach people how to create new things out of trash. And by doing that, also I started investigating about biomaterials and alternatives to trash or to plastic pollution. So my problem here is that I don't speak any Chinese. So I've been trying to communicate with communities in China. The way that, as Adeline said, the way that it worked for me was to ask for help from Chinese professors here in the same school, and they translated the tutorial that I make for a workshop. So in the end, like I communicate with them more like making things. So the workshops that I teach is mostly like make something so I can give them a tutorial and all the instructions are there. So I don't need to explain the things through language. I just show them and they can make the things. So yeah, that was something pretty useful. And for example, another thing is like I was trying to make events and like show movies or screening. The same, like I've been getting help from the language department to translate, to put subtitles in the movies.
Thank you so much, Marcella. So from now I can see Shauti Malavika. Well, actually, one interesting thing is like a couple of them are actually my students in my university. So I can see like Faiza, Shauti, and some other students. So here, so Iftikhar, Mahfouze, thank you so much actually, like, you know, attending GBS. So please, Nadi.
Yes, sir. I was actually, this is my first bio summit, so thank you for like letting us know about it, because I've been attending some of the workshops and I tried to be regular to the all the plans and everything, but due to the timing I couldn't attend all of them. But what I actually like to share with everyone is that I really love to attend the second one, I mean the next one, because now I get to know that there's so many people who are interested in the same thing that I am, like environmental concerns, and there's so many people who are working on the same thing that I'm interested in. So this is actually an eye-opening event for me, and I hope that in next time I will be able to contribute more to this summit.
Thank you so much. So yeah, thanks. So we can see Billy. Am I pronouncing it right? Bill or Billy?
Yeah, I'm Belle.
Bell. Oh, great. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm a Singaporean Stanford undergraduate. I got to know about the Bio Summit actually through some of the Stanford professors that came to talk. Yeah, I have been very inspired to, as a researcher, have been very inspired to do frugal science for a very long time. And I've also conducted Foldscope's workshops in places like Peru. And I'm the founder of this thing called the Hack Science Project, who is trying to create a low-cost science curriculum based in Siem Reap, Cambodia. Yeah, so we are trying to find funding for that, and hopefully we will be able to go maybe in a few years. Yeah, but I'm very glad to know, get to know people from the Bio Summit, because it is really like, for the first time, this is my first time in the Bio Summit, I found people who are equally passionate all around the world about the things I'm passionate about, and I hope to learn more from everyone here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Actually, the one thing I just struck to my mind, that is, can we have some time to talk about iGEM, like how expensive that is and how some of the Asian people are trying to work on that? So I'm sure like a couple of you are actually have this experience, and like and they're trying to you know, get some more participants. And from India, in last I think Bioradial conference, I got to know many, like especially Shrestha here. She's from Bhopal, so she knows the iGEM Bhopal team. So yeah, I mean, maybe like we can like put some light on that, like after this session. So here, maybe we can like call Salimullah. Are you here? Can you hear us, Salimullah? Okay, maybe we can like go to, oh yeah, hi Salim, please go ahead. Salim? Okay, so here we
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, my net is extremely slow, and it's
no connecting. Go ahead.
Continuously. So maybe that. Okay, so my name is Salimullah, and I am from Pakistan. I'm an undergrad junior student currently studying biotech at University of Peshawar, and we are running a lab called Biohacking Space Peshawar. We are more involved in the DIY bio and synthetic biology and bioinformatics. This is my first bio summit, and so my question was, we are struggling in Pakistan, and what a speaker said, that the situation is same in India, is the representation and recognition of the community. So what can we do to reach out to the government and big organizations to uh, get the recognition that is needed?
Great. Excellent. So thank you so much, Salim. Now, actually, you can like go to the Sabita Tamang from Nepal, I believe. Can you hear us, Sabita? Okay. So, right. Yeah, she has
Hello?
unmuted herself. We can hear you, Sabita.
Yeah, yes, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yeah. Of course.
So, hello everyone. I'm Savita Tamang and I'm from Nepal. I'm actually a member of Media Lab Nepal. So this is my first time in Bio Summit, and I was introduced to this by our founder Sudarshan GC. Someone may know him as well, Sudarshan GC.
Yeah, we do. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So he's founder of Media Lab Nepal, and it's been 2 years or more that I have been a member of Media Lab Nepal. So basically, we are a bio community of students from different fields, not only from biotechnology, but we include students from diverse disciplines, from biotechnology to engineering, and as well management. So we are established with a mission to bring together innovators from diverse disciplines to innovate for all. So our main aim is to analyze and address problems and challenges in different fields, like be it social, environmental, or educational. And we are trying to come up with best ideas and solutions to solve these problems. So meanwhile, we are also trying to fill the gap between individuals, like who are really passionate to learn new things but are unable due to lack of opportunities, due to many problems such as financial problems or so on. So that our main focus is to gap these bridges, so that the individuals who are actually very passionate about learning new things, so that we can provide them a platform through internet based platform, and yeah, we are really into working to connect them through internet-based platform and provide yeah.
Yeah, we can actually, we all can feel you. So maybe at some point in this region, we face the same thing, right? So yeah, Aravind, can you like move, just show the next speaker? You were talking, well, I think I have.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, maybe like you just regionally we're trying to receive some feedback from different countries. So I think Christian Silva is here, right, from Sri Lanka. I think is the only one after me representing Sri Lanka. Maybe please say something, Christian.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Chris. So I'm a research assistant at the University of Peradeniya, and also I'm the founder of Enzyme Ventures. So basically, why we started Enzyme was that to like bring everyone together, because like in IT industry, a lot of people have like a lot of communities and there's a lot of support, but for me, like for us, for people who are in life science, we don't have that support. We don't have community. So that's why we started Enzyme Ventures. So at the moment, what we are trying to do is like we try to connect our Sri Lankan researchers outside of Sri Lanka to the students so they can get mentoring and maybe like have more opportunities. So and yeah, like I most of the like biggest problem in Sri Lanka is that we are not that open to the outside world in terms of science, life science, and yeah, and also uh, another problem is that we don't have access to a lot of funds. So but people are trying hard to get things done. But so that's why I wanted to like start a DIY biotechnology initiative and like provide people opportunities, equipment, so they can innovate. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And then I didn't know that Arvind is also working on this, and once I applied for Biosummit, I got to know Arvind is there, and like we are already in touch. So yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Christian. Maybe like just one point why we are not open, because we are an island nation. We don't have much access to everything. And second thing is also to give a segue into to Salman, what he mentioned about iGEM, and it $5,000 is a huge price number money for us also.
Yeah, like I already like trying to build that at least I think to my knowledge we like there's no Sri Lankan team attend to iGEM. Like, am I correct, Alvin?
Yes, I mean, we are building one. So 2021, there's already one will be going.
Yeah,
Currently, we are building, supporting an iGEM Korea team, which is actually developing a sensor, biosensor to protect rice from post-harvesting fungus. And that has been targeted for Sri Lanka because the team leader was part of World Food Program. So we have been also like getting a little bit more idea into that, and we have already have a candidate who is going to be the first Sri Lankan iGEM girl, a 16-year-old girl from very remote village in Sri Lanka, and we hope that next year we can do that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Actually, I think we have some 1 minute time for everyone to include. So here I can see Faiza, I can see Aishwarya, I can see Mahmuda or Muhammad Farhan. So can you anyone of you like step ahead and like talk for 1 minute or something? Faiza?
Is that okay?
Hey, yeah, Muhammad Farhan, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Farhan from Indonesia. So I'm currently the iGEM ambassador for Asia in 2020 for iGEM. But currently I am also building a community of Synbio in Indonesia. For our first event on this year, it's like we did like a mini competition. So just like undergraduate can train and be educated about Synbio in a more direct way, but not in a practical way, because it's for iGEM for the lab work and all those practical way. But for the idea and the concept, we established like a competition. We a mini competition for the undergraduates of Indonesia, so that they can know more about Synbio and the concept of it. Because what's the missing from Indonesian and in understanding the Synbio is like the more of the basic things. Like we want to tackle it first. We gone through through the competition, and this is my first Bio Summit too, and I hope to gain like networks and like benchmark all of you are doing here is really great. I really admire all of you, and I want to replicate that in Indonesia, the movement of science, the movement of science communication, education, and all those. Okay, thank you. That's for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Faiza, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Faiza Kondukar, and currently I'm an undergrad student from Dhaka, Bangladesh, Brack University, majoring in biotechnology. This is my very first time in the Bio Summit, and surprisingly, this was the virtual one, so it's very overwhelming for me. To be very honest, the entire concept of community labs and bio design, biohacking is still sort of new to me, but the entire concept is, as I've mentioned, it's very overwhelming. And as Salman sir previously showed his slides, I'm very proud to be working with him in MechaMind for quite some time now, and I am so honored that I get to learn from one of the best that there is. And this opportunity has been amazing, and I tried to take part in all of the sessions, but of course that's not possible because of the time constraints and all the other things, given the virtual
Yeah.
things that
So
are
many
going
things
on.
happening in parallel.
Yeah, it's like so many things are happening all at the same time. It's very hard for me to actually choose, oh my God, which one to jump from and where, but I tried to be in a lot of them, and hopefully if
So,
the chance is there, probably next time I'll be a part of it too.
excellent. Thank you so much. Actually, is there anyone else? I mean, like left, we can like take 1 minute to, so Christina went for
Yeah,
it.
Aishwarya also. Yeah.
Aishwarya, please go ahead.
Hey, hi, I'm Aishwarya from India. Um, to be honest, I came to know about Global Community Bio Summit because only last year I'm a master's student in microbiology basically, and even being a master's student, I came to know about synthetic biology only last year through my academics. So the search of which led me to this Global Community Bio Summit actually. That was really fortunate. I was really fortunate to be here, and this was a great experience for me. And I always feel that there is a gap between the actual science happening and the academic science that is going on in India. That's not the case in all the institutes though, but there are institutes which have all the capabilities to uh, understand what's going on, but in some institutes it's not the case. And also the students are not understanding, like they also are not that into understanding what is actually going on. And so I would like to get help from you all to make the students more aware of the actual science that is going on. And also I came to know about IGM. That was really interesting, and I feel like the students of other nations which like school students know much better than us. That's really a thing to be noted. I wish I will work on that with help of you all guys. You all are great. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Well, thanks for you. And actually, we have Sauti and Malavika and Aishwarya. They had a very beautiful voice in the party. I'm not sure if you can remember that or not. So now here is Sam. Are you there? Here, can you hear us? Okay, can you talk for 1 minute maybe? Okay, so it's all right. Okay, we can jump to Selena maybe. Selena TA. Can you talk for 1 minute maybe?
Sure, go ahead. Here, you can type it out there. Yep.
Well, if Selena can't hear us, then we can go to Mahmouda Kabir or Mahfouz, whoever is who can make this some sound, some noise maybe. Oh, okay. Mahfouz, please.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. This is Mahfouz from Bangladesh. Currently, I'm studying biochemistry and molecular biology. So, as a molecular biologist, I think that I have learned so much about genetic code that I think that everything of us lies in those code. I mean, our every combination is in those code. Analyzing this code or putting this to so much research, I guess we can find about new things that haven't been discovered yet. Or if there is a pandemic situation is going on, like coronavirus, if its genome is already put in NCBI, But I think that how to defeat this virus is in those code that we are missing, or some of our researcher is missing. So I think that using a more code-based analysis or code-based research should be the next generation of biology. I think there is also that bioinformatics. I think bioinformatics is really helping us to learn more about a species and organism. I think the next generation should be more focused on bioinformatics or computational biology. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Mahmoud Kabir, are you here? Shaun? Okay, great. If am I missing someone? Anyone here? I believe so now if anyone
I don't know.
So Arnav and Adeline. So Arnav, can you jump in, buddy, and talk for a while?
Yeah, he's been there for the Bio Summit since the very beginning, and super excited too.
So, but I want to share something here. Actually, Arnav from India. I was from Bangladesh, and our another buddy from Pakistan, Abdul. So we used to call ourselves Desi guys, and we used to roam around Massachusetts right after the summit. It was really great. So Arnav, can you hear us?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man. What is up?
Hey.
Yeah. Good to see you all. Yeah, I think Salman is right. I think I've been involved with the Community Biotechnology Initiative and the broader Bio Summit since the inception. And it's been great to see how things have evolved since. I mean, I think the beauty of Bio Summit is is that it brought together people who never knew that there were so many other people working on the same problems around the world. So that's what I see is such an enabling platform. I mean, I think someone said, right, from Sri Lanka, how he just found out that another person from Sri Lanka is working on the same problems. So I think that's what I like about Bio Summit. And going forward, what I see for my region, as in India and Asia, is that, I mean, I would say our first goal would be to probably learn from what the Western worlds have already learned and pick it up. And I think we can get up to that par level, I mean, pretty soon. And I think once we go there, I think we're at par and I don't see why we can't do it. And it's encouraging to see so many new people joining in, especially from the South Asia region. So yeah, and I'm very excited to see where we go from here as a community.
Thank you so much, Arnav. And can we have a very, everything you're seeing, from Slack to everywhere, I'm sure you got this notification, Arnav has added you to the Slack group or something. Something like that.
So much of organizing
everywhere,
that. Thanks, Arnav.
So yeah, a big snap for him. Actually, please, everyone, please. Excellent. So yeah, and Adeline, we saved you for the last moment. Actually, Adeline,
I'm always jumping in, so you don't need to say.
Please go ahead and put your insight on lights. How you are
the backbone of the Asian.
No, I mean, yeah, it's been nice to see this grow, and to see so many new people joining as well. I see that there are 2 people from Singapore who are scientists, maybe, I can't tell. I think so. So I mean, the kind of issues that we talked about previously, a lot of it was about access to reagents and access to funding. And and a lot of you are new, so maybe you haven't also, maybe you still figure out what kind of educational projects to do and citizen science projects. But I think the other regional groups also had these issues. So if access to reagents and mainly access to reagents, I think, and materials and things like that. Salman, there must be a group. Is there something that the Bio Fellows have that you guys are sharing? Because I think that's always very useful. But it sounds more like, I think in terms of building community, and that kind of thing. I mean, from Singapore, we can try, and I would love to see how we can support some of these iGEM groups from other countries. I know the funding, I feel like the cost is ridiculous, like 5,000 is a lot of money. Can we do something ourselves? Okay, no, we can't do something ourselves. But I will like, please let me know if you're trying to look for funding like that, because I can see if maybe we can find like corporate sponsors and things like that, you know, across countries. Yeah, and I know I love that the environment and biodiversity connections and all this has come up, mental health awareness. I think all these issues are tied together with all the issues that we face, and Asia is, you know, particularly dense population. So I think all these issues are much different from, you know, when you're in the US and what they might face over there. So I hope we can all share, and all the new folks, I hope you continue to stay in touch. Salman, are you going to send a big group email? I stay in touch best by email. So maybe if you send out another group email, we try to do these like quarterly meetings, right?
And I know WhatsApp groups could also work to stay connected.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
informal
So
way. Yep.
you guys take over organizing, and I will be here to support where I can. But that's why I feel like all the first timers here should not be shy, just because a lot of us know each other already, and are very familiar with everything, you know, everybody else. Just feel free to jump in and unmute yourself right now and ask anything you like.
Adeline, I want to add something regarding the access to the material. This has been changed recently because we have been developing this open source rapid test kit that we have been also tested with the clinical sample. Today, later, I think in a few hours, we have a presentation how in Sri Lanka we have locally produced that and how accurate it is working. And it's going to be like a super low cost methodology. And so one of the things is in access to reagent and enzymes when it comes. There's a project from Dr. Jennifer Malloy from University of Cambridge called Free Genes and Open Bioeconomy, where you can get up to 340 plus enzymes and reagents for free. Even shipping costs, they do it for free. You know, it's part of a huge funding program from a Shuttleworth Fellowship. You could ask different, they have also like, you know, if you say it's SARS-CoV-2 and there are certain type of, you know, primers and enzymes and they come in kit, you know, you could ask for some other thing and then they would send you, including the shipping cost, they take care of that. So this is a huge initiative and has been scaled up from this year very much. And there is a project called Open Enzyme. It's an enzyme production project in Cameroon with the EMBOA lab. And they have been trained to locally produce those enzymes locally in Cameroon. And they're production ready now, and they're going to just send it across the other sub-Saharan countries. So we have been working a lot on this idea that if we could get that to Sri Lanka, then we will be able to deliver these things in the regional places in the Southeast Asia. But currently the biggest accessibility for us and the cheapest cost enzymes is coming from South Korea. But of course it's paid and then it's a corporate product. But like, you know, we have been talking also about this project and the whole initiative of the rapid test kit. We have been talking to several government, Indonesian government, Bangladesh government, Thai government. We have been speaking that every government should actually take this initiative to locally produce local solutions, not only the solution, but also the material. So if you need some information about that, you can join later today. We have this initiative talk today, and also you can reach out to me personally in Slack or via email. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. So you can see how like we can support each other, and for that we need to stay connected. So I'm sure you have, you know, filled that form up. So I'm gonna like I also put that on the Slack. So your other network or your peers, like just tell them to, you know, fill that up so that we can stay connected. And Adeline, and we're gonna like shoot you some emails. But now,
sorry, can I just say something, because I forget that I also do some science. So any of you who are trying to work, this is still expensive, but in the next few years, I was working with the Oxford Nanopore sequencer. So I do have a good, we published already a protocol for doing like simple DNA barcoding with their kids. But I'm very interested also in doing soil microbiome analysis. And Salman, you guys have also like talked about the things that you want to do. So yeah, for those of you here who are interested in using it, or feel free to contact me anytime, and I can guide you through some of the stuff that like we've done. And also we tested some very simple DNA extractions methods that work very well across a range of animal samples as well. So yeah. So on that side, if any of you are interested, I'm happy to share that.
Great. Thank you so much, Adeline. So now, can we turn on our camera and take a photo? Arnav? Okay. You're the guy to take the photo, right?
Maybe we can wait for a
Definitely.
minute. I think Abhay's phone died and he wanted us to wait for a minute or two.
Oh, sure, sure. In that case, I think Narita, she joined us right now.
Abhay joined just now.
Oh, Abhay just joined, right. Cool. Abhay, like we're taking the photo. So can you come in?
Oh, 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So do you have anything with you? If guys, like if you can find something to bring with you to the photo. Wow, Marcella, yeah, that's a robot, or it's kind of like retro. Oh wow, and Arvind, the mic. What I have actually. Oh no, you rocked it again, man.
Man, like I don't have anything else.
What do you get?
I have a guitar with me.
Oh, guitar. Wait. Okay.
It's an electric guitar. Yeah.
Actually, Sonali. Okay, I'm gonna since Sonali has that, I'm gonna put my Batman here, the Dark Knight. So.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys ready for the photo?
Yeah. So,
okay.
Maybe we can ask Narita, Salina, Mahmuda. Okay. Here.
Okay, I mean, like, I'll take a photo in like the next 5 seconds. Whoever wants to turn on their cameras, they are welcome. Yep. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. I'll take one more. One more. Sorry, wait. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Go. Done.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Well, I can see Iftikhar. Can you like talk for 1 minute? Actually, I think I missed you or Narita. 2 more people. Like we have 4 minutes. So can you guys like take 30 seconds each?
Hello everyone. My name is Iftikhar Jaman. I'm a undergrad student of Brack University. Currently, I am studying in my second year. But I am very enthusiastic about environmental pollution and bioremediation. So I have started working on bioremediation, several projects findings. One particular field I want to work with is the plastic pollution. As you know, this is one of the major problems in our world. So
thank you, Iftikhar. So yeah, that's a very good one and like very alarming one. And Narita, can you like jump in for 30 seconds?
Hello everyone. I'm having a little bit of the problem due to load shedding. I connected with my mobile network. I hope that's the problem. I would like to say that I'm really glad to meet you all here for BioSummit 4.0. And I'm basically an undergraduate student from Brack University as well, just like Iftikhar Zaman. And I really liked, I went through all the sessions for the past few days, for the previous day as well, and really liked all of them. And as mentioned, I am very interested in bioremediation as well. I wanted to go through the research projects as well, and I hope I can work on bioremediation for the future research papers. I published one on dengue recently, and I hope to work on bioremediation as well.
Thank you so much, Narita. So this is kind of like our last moments. So can we have snaps for Susan here. She has been amazing. She has been so supportive. And please, thank you so much, Susan. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's like pretty much it. And I would like to thank you, all of you, all the organizers, and our
Salman,
organizers.
I just created a WhatsApp group so that we can all stay connected.
Excellent, excellent. Please, that would be
The link
really
is on the
great.
chat. Feel free to join in, you all.
Sure, that is amazing. Actually, WhatsApp is like very convenient for some of us, not with everyone maybe, but yeah. Well, Slack, WhatsApp, email, whatever you want, you can stay connected. Maybe we can like think of so many more issues. Maybe sometime we need more help. Maybe not right now. So, but feel free to catch us anywhere, any platforms, or just knock us. Okay, so we can like so that we can like build this ecosystem where we can complement each other with projects, with problems, or with solutions, and also with happiness. So thank you so much.
Right, and I would like to say that like just feel free to add each one of us like on Facebook or something. I've realized that like I learned so much more like by listening and seeing what people are sharing on their social media, and like yeah, feel free to add all of us. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a very good one, actually. So as you can see, like Arnav has this all sort of things figured out. So thanks, man. So yeah, cool. Well, this is our time. Actually, we have perfected it. I mean, the timing was great. So yeah, thank you so much, Asia Regional. So best of luck for the rest of the Bio Summit. Thank you so much for joining and your presence.
And stay in
Bye.
touch. Okay, bye.
Yeah, please stay in touch. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye all.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for joining in. See you.